Maynard Axelson, Evaluator, SMS since 1990 for all West select sires. Well, raised on a registered Holstein dairy farm, just kind of came naturally, I guess. My dad was always real involved in registered Holstein activities and took me to club meetings, and we attended a lot of sales and shows and fairs and all that. And it was hard to go to any of those without meeting Archie Nelson and becoming acquainted with him. And he was a pretty important person in the industry at that time. And also a general manager of All West breeders. And those days, All West had their own bull stud and their own group of bulls. So it wasn't long before Archie was calling me to come help out at All West to clip bulls and wash and help take pictures and get them ready for open house or classification and things like that. So that was fun, real enlightening. And of course, right away I met Pat Brown and Ray Rubel, who were taking care of the bulls. Pat was instantly a good friend and also a friend of all my other friends. And we had a lot of good times with him and spent a lot of time at his house there on the farm. And then I also worked with Jerry Strandlin there. Jerry was doing the advertising and promotion and the bull book and everything for All West in those days, and innovator of the One Jump Ahead slogan and all those All West family album, all that good stuff. And so I learned a lot from Jerry, and we had some good times traipsing around the country taking daughter photos and things like that. So, but those guys were pretty inspirational and pretty knowledgeable and made it fun. Without a doubt, the biggest thing that's happened is the farm size, fewer and fewer, but bigger and bigger, or much bigger and bigger. I drive by a lot of those little family farms I used to go to, so I kind of miss stopping there. But on the other hand, you got to admire the guys that have hung in there and changed with the times and learned how to be efficient. The other big change I've seen is genomics. It's changed things tremendously. You know, we used to prove 10 bulls and hope 3 of them made it, and then the one with the high milk proof had 2 or 3 other negative traits, you know, foot angle or udder support or something. So we had to be really careful how we use that bull. And nowadays with the genomic screening, all those young sires, you know, some of those bulls aren't even sampled because they're not good enough to make it. And so the tremendous consistency of the bull lineup now and the concentration of all the good traits is just a tremendous value for the dairyman. And, you know, it's really moved things forward at a fast pace. Just unbelievable. A lot of them, I knew them before I even started working for them, and so it was just kind of a real easy transition, and you know, you develop a relationship and a track record, and then they give you their trust, and I appreciate that. You know, it's a patience thing. It's like farming. It's like growing a crop. You know, you got to do all the right things at the beginning. You got to do the right groundwork and get the right preparations in there, and then things turn out good in the end if you do all that. And you know, it's all about listening, learning from others, listening to your customers. You know, try to give them what they want. I always tried to give the customer what he wanted. I just learned that if you take the high road and do things the right way, you know, if you do good things will happen to you. It'll work out better in the end. I've had a lot of people tell me when they sold out, they thanked me and said it really helped to help build them a good herd of cows, and they've got more value out of it in the other end. So that was gratifying. Well, I think it was just a family example, family life on the farm. My dad was a stellar example of that. He did whatever it took every day, got up at the same time every day, and just and he was happy to do it. You know, he just as long as everybody was feeling good and the sun came out, and he was having a great time. So, you know, he was a real selfless person and just did what it took and was happy to do it. My family would have to go into there too, but they did a lot of support when I was out running around. But, you know, the people I met early on, Archie Nelson, you know, he was a real inspiring person. Harold Catlin ran our company through some of the greatest times, and, you know, just really did a great job. And he's another person that you admire for working his way up to the system. And Pat Brown just made it a lot of fun and became a lifelong friend. And Jerry Strandland was just so good at what he did. And of course, Larry, I worked with all my career. We had a really good teamwork system going. The farmers trusted us so much, they just told us to handle it, just to take care of it. I mean, we picked their bulls and did it everything. And, Larry made my job a lot easier. I learned a lot from him about talking to the customers, about learning what they wanted. He had the ability to talk to anybody about anything, and he made me better at my job, so I really appreciate that. The family support, the All West support has been fantastic, and I worked for another company for 5 years before I came here, and I noticed right away the support and the amount of information and tools you had to work with was just really a big difference. And things like the insurance became a big item in my life, and the retirement program and things like that. It's just, All West has always been right there and really solid. Select Sires also had a lot of support for everyone and me, and to go back there and see those people and their track record and their personnel that have been some of the heavyweights of the industry and have been always the leaders. To rub elbows with those kind of guys has been a really big benefit. And when you rub elbows with people like that, I always thought something good might rub off on me, and so it makes you want to be better, just like the best that they are. So visiting those family farms I'm driving by, I miss a lot of those guys, having breakfast with them at their table and stuff. And, I just want to keep the long relationships going, really treasure those relationships.